What's up, YouTube? It's me, Alan, aka Nucleus of Chaos. How you guys doing? Good, I hope. I don't know why I asked the question. You guys can't even hear me. Well, you can hear me, but it's not like you guys can reply. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, I'm here today to give you guys a video game review. I'm going to do my review a little bit different. I'm not going to do the traditional rating a game kind of thing. I'm just going to do some pros and cons of a game that I played and then leave it up to you to determine if you want to play it or not. I will give a suggestion if you should play it, like I think you should play it or, something like that. But I don't want to get stuck in numbers and anything like that. So I'm just going to basically say if it's worth playing or if it's not. And yeah, and that's again my personal opinion. You might play the game and enjoy it and whatever the case may be. We're not going to agree on every game, but I just kind of want to see, kind of make a video of explaining one of the games that I talked about in episode 1 of our show. If you haven't seen that, you can go back, click on the link. Uh, Obviously, you're already on our YouTube, so you would know exactly where to find it. And if you want to see our show live, it's every Tuesday at 8 o'clock. We do our live podcast show. And if you want to catch the edited version of that, it's every Friday. So, without further ado, let's get into the video. So the game that I want to talk about today is The Medium. If you guys listened to our first episode, this was one of the games that I talked about that I had been playing since it came out. It came out on the 28th of January. So I had been playing this game. I was kind of excited for this game because this is technically Xbox's first actual exclusive for moving forward since they did their huge purchases of buying a bunch of game companies and stuff like that. And actually, this is the first game that they're releasing that's an Xbox exclusive, even though it is on Steam, but it's still like within the Microsoft window. So it's the first one that's not going to be released on another console. It's only going to release on Xbox, and it's released on Steam. So basically, this game, you follow the main character who is Marion, and she's a medium that helps troubled souls seek final respite. Has a reoccurring dream of a man shooting a young girl by a lake. So essentially, this game is very psychological. It is a psychological horror. So it's, as you can see in some of these clips, you saw that you saw her medium powers showing up as she goes and speaks to this little girl. Without giving too much of the story away, basically what happens is she's getting this reoccurring dream that's always showing up, and it kind of taps into her powers because she's a medium. So basically, this dream happens. She then gets a phone call. This phone call leads her to this hotel that you will search. I don't want to say who the phone call was from because that kind of gives away from the story. Something that I really enjoyed about this game, and as you can see in the clips, was the fact that your character does split. The character doesn't split, but you're basically split through two realities. So the way that this mechanic works, and then it's really good, is the fact that your character has to do task kind of in both worlds, because there might be something that blocks you in the spiritual world that will help you move on in the real world. The thing is, you as you're doing this, it's basically that's the way you're solving puzzles. So it's a very fun and interesting idea because that's not something that I'm used to playing, in a sense of you're controlling the same character, but you're in two different worlds. Now, she can separate herself, but it's only for a short period of time. So if you're in the both worlds, like you saw in some of the video, when you hit I believe it's the B button, she actually splits off into the spiritual world more so you can go and do stuff, but the problem is you cannot be in that world too long or else she'll fade away. So essentially, um, that's one of the best things about this game was that feature itself. Another thing that I liked about this game is that it does have a locked camera. Now I know you're gonna say that's kind of annoying. That might remind you of Resident Evil 2 days, and you're totally right. So I also list that as a con for the simple fact that there's sometimes when you're trying to solve puzzles and it literally you cannot move your character and you can't see where certain things are, and it makes it a little bit frustrating, but the fixed camera is also a positive because it helps with the suspense of the game. Not being able to look at your surroundings gives it more opportunity for jump scares and things like that, so it can really hone in that horror genre that they were going for. The story of this game, I believed, was really good. They have a very engaging story. The game is not too long. It's about 6 to 8 hours. 6 hours if you're really just rushing through it, but it's about a good solid 8 hours if you want to play. I played it in the span of like 2 days. It didn't take me too long to beat the game. I enjoyed the story a lot. I think the story had a nice set of twists, a lot of sets of turns, things you weren't expecting. You might have been able to read some things, but the story itself was very refreshing. It was very nice to have a game that, you felt very suspense throughout the whole game. Even though I don't feel like there was enough jump scares, but it still had that. The game itself was a very suspenseful game, so you always felt like something bad was going to happen, even though something bad didn't always happen. So it's nice to have that feel in a horror game, especially that you never feel safe. And I think this game definitely gives you that. One of the cons that I want to mention also was that sometimes the game's um, system could have been, like I said, and I think that has to do with the camera though. Just I think the camera was my biggest con of this game. Basically, there's just sometimes where you're trying to move around and you just can't see what's going on. And I wish they would have given you a free camera time for when you were like looking for puzzles or looking to try to solve a puzzle. But I also understand that because, like I said earlier, the refrainment of allowing you to see what was going to happen next also helped a lot. So I just wanted to end it off by saying that I did enjoy this game and I definitely recommend playing it. I feel like a lot of the things you can do in this game is just the starting point. I feel like we might get another one. I'm not sure. I guess it depends on how well this game does. The good thing about this game though is that it is on Game Pass and you can play it on your Xbox or you can play it on your PC. And as long as you have a Game Pass membership, you are allowed to play the game. So instead of spending the $49.99 that is on Steam, you can play this game for $14.99. See if you like it. If you don't have to play it, and then you'll still have a month of Game Pass, and you can play any of the many titles that are on there. As I know, I'm always talking about Game Pass, so but I definitely think if you're into these kind of games, psychological horrors, you should definitely give this game a try. I definitely think it's worth your time, and I think it's worth a play. That's it for the video, guys. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button. If you want to see more content like this, hit the subscribe button. We're going to try to give you guys 2 videos a week as much as we can. If you guys want to catch the live version of our podcast, we have that over on twitch.tv/last space fire team. If you go to our Twitter, you'll be up to date with anytime we go live and things of that nature. I'm Alan, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Fire team out.